GYMDAD Fitness. Today we got another pre-workout to you sent over from Best Price Sports Nutrition. This is the best price nutritions, best price in sports nutrition. They're revamping their website, and these guys, they carry some. I found myself a lot of low-key hitters. We reviewed that's the location where I got the soles for sale, which I hit on a review. Let me go get the other ones too. We're gonna hit. We got 3 other ones we're gonna hit from these guys. This is the Ashes Pre. I showed all these ones on Souls for Sale, but just in case you missed it. And all these 3, they kind of have that similar feel of the packaging as the Firestorm and like Smash and like Oxy Melt. And so I looked at these things, and the first thing I thought is these literally look like the Temu versions of Venom in the regular IR8. It cracks me up because like they spell it IR8, not IR8, but like even the label is very, very similar, like the same like graphic design of the label, like the wording and the breakdown in the font. And same with the Venom. This is not the Venom I know and recognize. And the Ashes kind of has that like sticky kind of like label feel to it. So we're going to hit those ones as well from these guys, but stay tuned for that. This is the Force of Nature. And I asked the owner, I said, which one? I said, I want to get off with a bang. And which one would be a good one to like get rolling for you guys? Like, would be a good one for me to try out. I want to, I'm going to give it to you guys straight. And he honestly, I think he mentioned, I know he said he had ran this one and it's strong as heck and it's an interesting, intriguing one. But I can't remember if he told me if he's ran these 2 or not. And I'm like, I don't really want to like start off best price nutrition review saying that, like, I didn't enjoy the pre or something like that. So which one that you've been running that you've been enjoying? And he told me this Force of Nature. Category 5 Force of Nature. It doesn't even say, I'm trying to see, it says like RR Innovations. Yeah, R&R Innovations. I've never seen this anywhere else. But this is the weigh and the taste test, but this is going to be a 2-amino product along with the fun stuff. If you guys know what I mean, they're the one that they say is completely gone. This is claiming that as well. So this is a Skittles flavor, and pretty juicy scoop. 1 scoop, 16 grams, 30 servings in a container. It's a fresh tub we got rolling here. So there's a shit ton of product in here. So if you like your bang for your buck, you're getting amplified product. Kind of has a smell. It reminds me of the way, I mean, no, it's Skittles flavor, but all those Skittles flavors can vary a little bit, but it kind of reminded me of the wildfire smell a little bit. So that would be badass if this was something similar to the original wildfire. And that is a hefty scoop too. Like, this thing is juicy. It says 16 grams. I think it looks a lot bigger than 16. 1 scoop came in at 18.33. So we're gonna roll with that. Oh man, that smells exactly like wildfire. Either they use the same flavoring system, or we're in for a real treat. I can't remember exactly where wildfire is manufactured. I think it was California, maybe. But this is a Florida company right here. So sometimes you gotta look at those manufacturer locations, and I think most of these ones I got were Florida. I know the IR8 and the Venom were both Florida. And then let's see what this Ashes one was. It says Miami, Florida as well. So something's brewing down in Florida. But let's see what we got here for the flavoring. It's pretty freaking good. You're gonna like this flavor. It's not like identical to wildfire. My expectations are, at the best, this hits like the OG wildfire. At a pretty solid expectation, this hits like M2. And then at absolute, like, wish I would have took a daily driver expectation, this thing hits like that guy right there. That's kind of like where I'm rolling here. And that means this one is just like, like a slightly euphoric. Almost felt like I would rather take like Carnage or like 6 or something like that, like some of these like non-illicit pre's, than utilizing one of those, something like that. Not saying it's a bad pre-workout. I'm just saying it's like, you have specific days you want to take your 2-amino, your AA products, and you almost feel like you wasted those days when you take something that doesn't quite hit. So that's what I'm getting out of there. But the flavor is pretty solid. This is a little longer weigh-in because this is a new one. Taste was good. It's a loaded scooper. Best Price Sports Nutrition. Really excited about these guys. I think their main focus has always been their storefront. I'm blanking on where they're located, but they connected with these guys on Instagram, working on their website. You can very responsive. Reach out to them if you have any questions. But they got some real interesting hitters. Force of Nature overall, it's pretty damn accurate. Like I said, I get a little aggressive sometimes, even with my level scoop. Sometimes I pack it in there nice and tight, like I'm making some snow cones or something like that. But I didn't even heap it, but I think it was still about 2 grams over. But this is a pretty loaded label, so if it was a straight stim package, I'd probably be a little more cautious with it. But that 2 grams over, a lot of that's going into the pumps. But well, let's break down the label, then get into the effect. Time for the label breakdown of Force of Nature, Category 5. This pre-workout right here comes in, like we said, in the flavor review, weigh-in / taste test. This thing's 16 gram scoop, 30 servings, so you get a lot of freaking product in this thing. Let me just show you that. I mean, there is a shit ton of product in here. And pretty straightforward label, so it won't take too long, but it's not as simple as like the original hybrid or anything like that, but not nothing too crazy. Citrulline at a whopping 8 grams, beta-alanine 3.2 grams, taurine all arounder there at 1 gram, agmatine for some more pumps at 1 gram, DMAE 500 milligrams, diobromine 150 milligrams, caffeine anhydrous 350, a nice little sweet spot, alpha GPC, some more nootropic cognition focus there, L-theanine 350 milligrams, which I think that's kind of on the higher end if I recall. I'm trying to think of another product that had L-theanine. I'm pretty sure the original Wildfire might have had some of that. Yes, it did. And that was 350 as well. You know what? It kind of tastes like Wildfire, so I'm going to just keep them up next to each other while I got it. And I'll tell you what the differences were, because we're all kind of trying to chase that old legend. And Kratos, it didn't quite live up to the original one, but it was still very, very good. Extremely good pre. You'll see if this can match Kratos, that would be a real freaking awesome treat. And then we have octavine HCl, 100 milligrams, DMAA there at 100 milligrams. Some bold claims there. We'll see what that is truly what's in there. And DMHA at 100 milligrams. So they got 100 and 100. Wildfire claimed 200 of the 2 amino, and then 100 of the AA. And then biopurine, 10 milligrams to help absorption, and then herpesine A to wrap it all up at 350. It's actually very, very similar breakdown to this one as well, like the caffeine, the DMAEs, the taurines, the agmatines, the beta-alanine, the citrulline. Just a few little differences. The main difference is they're claiming 100 less of the HA, and then also that's about it. I mean, caffeine's the same, pump formula's similar. They got more citrulline in this one, more beta-alanine, stuff like that, but pretty similar breakdown to that too. So that's what it kind of reminded me of, with maybe it's just a Skittles flavor, but also the smell and the way the powder looked and stuff. I just kind of recollected that. So pretty stacked label here. We're very, very excited, but like we see a lot of these products, especially from these small brands, they come out with beautiful labels, but we'll see if it lives up to the effects. All right, now time for the effects portion of Force of Nature, FON. We'll call that for short. That's Best Price Nutrition. The owner, he mentioned, I asked him as soon as I tried this thing the first time, and he always referred to it as FON, the fawn. So that's what I want to call it here, just to shorten the description of it. Love a little acronyms. So we'll roll with that. And really excited. This was one of those ones you take it and you can't wait to get home from the gym to tell someone your breakdown. But then I kind of had to pump the gas because I wanted to run this thing one more time before I could really sign. I feel like Gandalf the Great in Lord of the Rings when he lights the smoke signals to signal all the towns that, here we come. Let's get this thing rolling. The boys are on the way. And Force of Nature. So before we jump into the experience, I want to tell you how I ran it first. So the first time I ran it was at 5 o'clock. And I feel like this is kind of one of those time periods where pre seem to normally always hit for me. You got the natural energy of the gym, the hustle and bustle. You also got that pent up energy from the day. And it was amazing. Just like I mentioned, very reminiscent of the OG wildfire experience. And kind of like it was a builder. It took about 30 to 45 minutes to really kick in. I say it almost peaked around the 45-minute mark, and for some reason, it always seems to take longer for prees to hit me. I don't know if it's because I'm a bigger person. I'm 220 pounds, 6'3", just about 6'3", and so that might play a factor. Maybe it hits you a little quicker. But this one definitely is a builder. It doesn't really slap. It's, I mean, honestly, like the best way to compare it is one of those batches of wildfire. It comes in very, very gently and just keeps going and going and going. And then you start feeling a little sizzle to it. You start feeling a little bit of euphoric element, and it's nothing like over the top or absolutely out of this world, like to the point where you feel like out of body type situation, but it's just really buzzing, really happy, and the perfect amount of energy. It's uplifting, it's euphoric, and there's just nothing negative about it. And this is that first run I took it on, and just I was one of those, and I was lifting, feeling amazing, hitting triceps. I did half my workout by myself, and then one of my friends showed up from the gym. We had half of it at the end together, so I kind of got a feel of how the pre works. Just locked in by yourself, and then with someone else, and the music's feeling better. You're more optimistic. It's a happy, buzzing pre. And I'm not gonna lie, after the first run, I'm like, this has got to be my new favorite non-alpha yo 2 amino slash AA product, if it's really in there, of 2025. Like it knocked out Kratos, which I just ran a few weeks ago, and before Kratos, I mean, this is just strictly non-alpha yo buzzing pre-workouts. I mean, I'm trying to think of other ones that like obviously like we're not going to be hitting on the review, but the Big Banger was like that a little bit. A little more bubble like, not as happy. I'm trying to think of like happy pre's that were non-alpha yo, and most of them have been like a 2 amino. Well, Aventador and Dark Horse, yeah, those are the two I was thinking of. Those are the two like non-alpha yo buzz-in pre-workouts, and this one is right there with those, like literally neck and neck. Like I almost feel like I need to take Aventador just to get a good read on if it's happier or not. But this one feels a little bit different than Aventador for sure. This one definitely had a little more, you could feel, I felt it in my head afterward too. Like I wasn't like nauseating kind of like head throb, but it was kind of like that come down head throb, like just ever so slightly in the background, like not enough to like discourage me from lifting. And I remember I used to get that with the wildfire. I wouldn't even call it a crash. It didn't feel like that, like a crash. It was just kind of like a couple hours after, you feel a little bit like just a slight like aching in the head, nothing like insane, and nothing that would like discourage me from ever taking the product again. So, after that time, I'm like, okay, I got to run this thing again. And so I ran it on a day, just got done lifting. It's about 1 p.m. And I ran this thing last night. My kid woke up fucking 5 o'clock in the morning, didn't go to bed till midnight. So I'm running on like 4.5 hours of sleep. And I also trained at noon, which is, I call that the bring your own juice time period. You got the old folks in there. You got the old school 70s music on. It's like 3 or 4 people lifting. It's very like chill environment. And I'm also running on like zero sleep. I did not feel like lifting. I was actually going to take an off day. But I'm like, okay, to really tell you guys if this thing's legit or not, if the great Fornius once told me that if a pre-workout's good, it's going to hit no matter what your mood is, no matter how you're feeling, that thing is going to hit. It's just going to hit in different variations. Like it might not be as bubbly, as high as it was the time before, but it's still going to be a very good pre-workout, and you're still going to be elevated as heck and have a good time. And so I'm like, okay, this is a perfect situation. It's like my body feels good. I have no injuries. The only thing that's lacking is sleep. And so like, let's just grind it out and let's run this thing at noon on when I'm low on sleep. And sure enough, this thing, it came in. I am about 40 minutes in. I was questioning if this was really going to work. If I started feeling a little bit of energy, a little bit of caffeine energy, but nothing out of this world. And then like it started getting to that 45, 50 minute mark, and then that euphoria kind of took over, and it kept like slowly building. And like I was kind of like before the workout, I was almost like a little nauseous. Have you ever been lacking sleep and felt that way? And when I feel this way, sometimes I'll take like Excelsior, like if I need to get a workout in, or like a firestorm, and like it almost kind of like make me feel even sicker. But this one, another thing is like I took it in this situation, and I just kept feeling better to the point where like I once like I got like the 35-40 minute, like halfway through my workout, I was like legitimately like happy again and like feeling amazing, and completely polar opposites, 360 switch on like my total outlook on the day and like my total vibe of my body. And so I was able to grind out this an amazing workout, even coming in with this terrible, fatigued, not in a good headspace like mindset. And so I can say 100% confidence, at least this bottle right here from Best Price Sports Nutrition, it's got some goods in it. It's got that feel. It's got that feel of that. I'm not going to say it's as good as that Wildfire, but I will say to me it was on the same level as like Dark Horse Aventador. So definitely worth your try. Like I said, 2 times running it. How I'd grade this one: 10 out of 10 on Euphoria. Pumps 10 out of 10. Taste was really damn good. I'm just gonna go give it 10 out of 10 on that as well. And locked in tunnel vision focus. And it obviously didn't have that like Smash AMF, Firestorm like level tunnel vision focus, but we'll give it a solid like 8 to 9 out of 10 on that. It was still very good focus. Raw energy, like sense of urgency. This is 7 out of 10 on that one. This isn't your pre if you need to be slapped. I know some people like to wake up and get, they, like I mentioned, they have Alpha Yo in their Wheaties. Like they need that extra slap. And this isn't one of those. I think it would be a good one for the morning if you're not an Alpha. Personally, I'm not an Alpha Yo fan in the morning. Some people like that. They like that because to them, it's like a splash of cold water to the face. But to me, it's a little much. And I want to be like happy in the mornings because I feel like sometimes it kind of spirals me into like, I start thinking about all the shit I have to do that day and almost spirals me into like an anxiety situation. And so I like these happy style pre's in the morning personally, but I know some people like to get that splash of cold water to the face, and this might not be there then for them, but there might be some times when this is more ideal if they're coming off of a well-rested night. It's a Friday, so they got a little extra juice in their step, a little pep in the step on the workout. But overall, huge fan of this Force of Nature. I'm excited to tell you guys about this one because I had never heard of it until I got this thing from Best Price Sports Nutrition. They got a new website coming up, so what a great way to kind of like intro you guys to this company. I know I mentioned them during the Condemned Labs Souls for Sale review, but everyone has heard of Souls for Sale, and I'm sure a lot of people haven't heard of this Force of Nature. And the fact that this one was such a sweet hitter. What a great way to just kick it off and introduce people. And they got a new website launching too, so the stars have aligned. So I think this one's definitely one I give a stamp of approval for. And use code GYMDAD when you purchase that. And I don't want to see any other GGH codes popping up on anyone's pages anytime soon. We're always using that GYMDAD code. So GYMDAD Fitness, like, subscribe. We'll talk to you guys in the next one. I got some more hitters coming from this company. We might bounce around a little bit and come back to these guys, but there'll be more to come from Best Price Sports Nutrition.